This is an idea borrowed from biology. It uses a 4x4 or a 2x2 square, actually. I'm going to do a square, and then I'm going to cut it in half this way, and I'm going to cut it in half this way. And I'm going to do an easy one to start with to show you how it works. So let's multiply 10 times 10. I'm going to put the tens digit here and the ones digit here from one of the numbers, and then from the other number, I'm going to put the tens digit here and the ones digit here. And now all I have to do is multiply this number by this number, this number by this number, one at a time. So I'm really only multiplying a single digit by a single digit. When I multiply 1 times 1, I get 1. When I multiply 1 times 0, I get 0, because 0 times anything is 0. And then I get, let's see, I need my pointer again. This 1 times this 0, I'm going to get 0. And then, of course, 0 times 0 is 0. So I'll put that 0 there. And then what I have to do is recognize what I've really done here is multiply tens times tens to get hundreds. So I'm going to get 100, and I'm going to have a tens and a ones. And what I've done here is multiply a tens digit by a ones digit. So this is really a tens, and another tens by another ones. So this is also a tens. I have 0 tens plus 0 tens is 0 tens. And last, I have multiplied a ones digit by a ones digit, and that gives me a ones digit. And I have just that 1 0 in that place, in the ones place. So we know that 10 times 10 is 100, but this is how the system works. So let's try a harder one. This time I'm going to multiply 12 times 13. So I'll make my box, and I'll cut it vertically and horizontally, and then I'll put the 12 across the top, the tens in one column, the ones in the other, and I'll put the 13 down the side, the tens in one row, the ones in the other row, and then I start multiplying. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 3 is 3. And 3 times 2 is 6. But remember, this was really a tens times a tens. It's kind of like saying 10 times 10. 10 times 10 is 100, not 1. So I'm going to have a 1 in the hundreds place. This is a tens number because it was 10 times 2. This was really 10 times 2, right? This is 10 plus 3 gives you 13. 10 times 2 gives you 20. So that's a tens. So I have two tens. And then this is also a tens right here because this was 10 plus 2 is 12. So 10 times 3 is 30. So I also have a 3 in my tens position. And then 3 times 2 is 6. But this was a ones position, and this was a ones position. So this is also a ones position. So I have 6. And if I add those up, I get 156. Now, you might be able to do this part in your head because this number, the number in this box, and the number in this box are both tens. So you could say to yourself, well, this is 100. Let's write down the 100. Sorry, I used the wrong pen, so let me grab the right pen. Write down the 100, and then 2 tens plus 3 tens, or 20 plus 30, that's 50. 2 tens plus 3 tens, that's 5 tens, that's 50. And then just the 6. So that is 6. We get the same answer however we do it. The way we've been learning how to do it, probably, is 12 times 13, where you multiply 3 times 2 to get 6, then 3 times 1 to get 3, then recognizing that you're going to do 1 times 2 and 1 times 1, but this isn't really a 1, it's really a 10. So I'm going to say 10 times 2, or 1 times 2 with a 0 on it. That's why we put that 0 there. So now I can go 1 times 2, that's 2. And 1 times 1, 1 times 1, that's 1. and then I can add those up, and I still get 156. So if you prefer this method, that's great, but this is another method that works, and it gives you the same answer. Let's try one more that's kind of easy, and then I'll do a harder one. Let's try 21 times 23. I'll make my box, cut it up, and then I'll put 21 across the top and 23 down the side. Actually, it doesn't matter. I could put 23 across the top and 21 down the side, but I'm going to do it this way. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. And 3 times 1 is 3. These are tens. So I have 2 tens and 6 tens. That's 8 tens. That means I have 4 hundreds, 8 tens, and 3 ones. And that's it. Now, sometimes these numbers get too big for these to be single-digit answers. And when that happens, we have to get a little bit more creative. So let me show you one of those. This time I'm going to multiply 13 times 28. I'm going to start the same way with my box. I'm going to cut it up, and I'm going to write down my numbers, 13 and 28. And then I'm going to start to multiply. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. 1 times 8 is 8. And 8 times 3 is 24. So now in this box, I don't have a ones number anymore. I don't have a single digit like a 6 or a 2. I have a whole tens and ones number. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to add these up slightly differently. I'm going to use my highlighter again, just very quickly, to remind you that these are tens, these are tens. So my answer here is going to be 2 hundreds. I'm going to write that as 2, oh shoot, I used the wrong tool again. 2 hundreds. Now I have 8 tens and 6 tens. That's 60 plus 80. That's 140. Or you could say 8 plus 6 is 14 times 10. That's 140. And then down here I have 24 ones, but that's 24 ones. So I have to write that as 24. And then I'm going to add these up in this direction, just like I would have if I was using the other method. 0 plus 0 plus 4 is 4. 0 plus 4 plus 2 is 6. And 2 plus 1 is 3. So my answer to 13 times 28, 13 times 28, is 364. So it's not really scary when this happens, or when you get more than a single digit when you add these two together. You just have to get a little bit creative about how you write them down. Let me do just one more like this that's a little bit harder. This time I'm going to multiply 36 by 49. Those numbers are getting pretty big. But I'm going to make my box, write down my numbers, and then start to multiply. Now, 3 times 4 is 12. So that's what's going to go in there. 4 times 6 is 24. These are big numbers. 3 times 9 is 27. And 9 times 6 is 54. Okay, so we have all our numbers. Let's highlight the tens boxes. This one I think I will do just by writing down how many tens I have, and then I'll add them together. And what I mean by that is this. Well, I'll start with the hundreds. I have 12 hundreds. That means I have 12 with 2 zeros after it. You can say this number either 1200, or you can say it 1200. Sometimes you'll see a comma there. But you oftentimes hear people say that's 1200, right? So that's really what we have here, is we have 12 hundreds. And then I have 24 tens. So that's a 2 and a 4 with a single 0 after it. To line these up, that means I'm going to need to put them here. My 2 is really, well, in this box, this is 24. So that's a 20, but it's in my tens box. So I have 20 tens. That's 200. I have 240 here. Same thing here. I have 20 tens. That's 200. And then 7 more tens. That's 27 tens, or 270. And then down here, I have 54 ones, but that's 54 ones. So this ends up in the tens column in the same way as these ended up in the hundreds column. And then I'm just going to add these up. 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 4 is 4. 0 plus 4 plus 7 plus 5. Well, that's a little tricky. Let's see. 5 plus 4 is 9. And 9 plus 7 is 16. So I can write that as a 6 and carry the 1. 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 plus 2 more is 6. 6 plus 1 more is 7. And then in this column, I'm lucky I only have that 1, so I can just bring it straight on down. So the answer here is 1,764, or 1,764. I hope that helps.